Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello to all my panel. My name is Muhammad Afif bin Zuhairi. Today I'm gonna to talk about my project which is the investigation of the effectiveness of single-minute standardized technique across the different processes where my supervisor name is Professor Madia Dr. Zuria binti Ibrahim. For the first slide, I will discuss about the introduction project. We can look the first point, introduction project, where this project is set to introduce the study on the investigation of the effectiveness of single-minute standard technique across different processes in all manufacturing sector and service sector to improving the productivity. The second one, we can look the demand for electronic component, food and beverage, vehicles such as a car and motorcycle and so on is increasing in the world, which will allow manufacturing factories in all industry sectors to begin to expand, especially due to the demand for related product or service in the use of machine despite the different in machine. The third one point is the single minute extender is the well-known technique to be applied in order to solve time consuming due to the machine setup. The last point we can look, single-minute extender technique is able to improve the productivity in the use of different machine through time loss reduction due to the machine setup as well as defect reduction. The next slide, I will explain about the project motivation. The first point about the project motivation is large amount of cases on SMED implementation since it has been introduced in 1989. Up to this date, there is no any thorough analysis on the literature regarding SMED. The second one about the project motivation, it is important to investigate the similarity and different action taken through SMED across different processes, such as we can look the fabrication, assembly, molding, and so on in manufacturing industry. The last one about the project motivation is a guideline of SMED implementation based on specific processes across different manufacturing industry could be the expected outcome from this investigation. For this slide, I will explain the objective project. We can look the first point to determine the single minute standard implementation across manufacturing sector and service sector. The second point is to clarify the difference and the similarity of method in applying single-minute standard across different processes such as fabrication, assembly, molding, and so on. The last objective is to conclude the most appropriate method in applying single-minute standard across different processes as well as it is challenged. We proceed to the next one, project scope. We can look the first point is this project focus on the study of topic relating to the single-minute standardized literature review where a minimum of 100 references are needed, including journal, case study, and article for manufacturing sector and service sector. The second one, we can look this project will focus on the study of single-minute standards literature review, which is on manufacturing sector and service sector, where this study will focus on 40 years from starting SMED introduced. For this slide, I will explain the literature review for this project. In single-minute standards method, all activity of setup operation can be divided into two categories, which is internal activity, which are performed where the machine is offline, or we can call it as a machine stop also, and therefore must be minimized because they decelerate the production. And for external activity, they are performed where the machine is running or still operation, or we can call it as a continuous process. We can look from this table. Internal and external activity, we can match with the preliminary stage and stage 1, stage 2, and or stage 3. For the fifth stage, we need follow step by step to improve the productivity in the line of the or the in the industry. We need follow step by step to improve the productivity. I will explain the meaning of the preliminary stage and stage 1 or stage 2 and stage 3. For the first one, meaning for the preliminary stage, In preliminary stage, internal and external are not distinguished. For the stage 1 is separating the internal and external setup. For the stage 2, we need convert into the external to the external element. For the stage 3, we need to the streamlining all aspect of the setup operation. We proceed. For this slide, we can look the table of the literature review. The internal activity and external activity we can match with the each of the process. For example, process the fabrication, process the molding, process the assembly. We can match each other to improve the productivity in the line or in the industry. And for this structure process, for example, fabrication, molding, and assembly also have a continued process or machine stop. For example, to continue process, we need to apply this single magnet exchange die to improve the productivity of the quality of product. For example, for the machine stop also we need to apply the single magnet exchange dies into the each process to improve the productivity or the quality of product. For the final year project 1, the last chapter we need to do is the methodology. For the methodology, we need to create the flowchart or the flow process to done this final year project, which is we need to starting from the beginning, the selection and confirmation of title with the supervisor, registration of the PSM title with the supervisor, and then follow up with the find out the minimum 100 source to done this to create or to make it this project that we can category by the objective 1 and follow up with the objective 2. We need study and review and conclude the source that we get it, which is 100 minimum source we need to find it. And for the objective 2, we need to identify the method analysis to get the result for to know the effectiveness by applying the single magnet exchange dies in the industry or the in the line for for produce the product, and then we proceed to the next. For this slide, I will show you the flowchart or flow process, how to get the data collection or how to do the method analysis. We starting the beginning by identify the process that use the SMED by study the reference that we get it or we find it minimum 100. We need to identify the process that use the SMED by reading or studying the reference that we get and follow up with the clarify the difference and the similarity of the method in applying SMED in at the industry, and the follow up with the conclude the most appropriate method in the applying single magnet extender in the industry. That one we consider as the objective 2 for the conclude, and for the identifying process and clarify the different process and the similarity process, we conclude as the objective 1. We can see from this slide, the objective 1, we need to find the minimum 100 reference and study the article to know the method to use. And then the objective 2, we need to making the analysis from the study by year or industry and the process used. The objective 3, we need to finalize the analysis to get the result to know the effectiveness of by applying the single magnet exchange in the at the industry or the line. For the last slide, I will show you the how we do the method analysis to know the effectiveness by applying the single magnet exchange at the industry. We use the table comparison by the year at the industry and process. The year we use the range year at rates 10th year and to know the which 10th year have more effectiveness single minute standards applying or implementation. And after we do the table compression, we convert to the table analysis. Same goes to the table compression. We do the range rate every 10th year. And process we need to separate the process by the molding, fabrication, assembly, and so on. And then from the table analysis, we can get the graph analysis. From the graph analysis, we can know the effectiveness single minute standards applying implementation that for the industry. We can know the how the effectiveness for the every year by using the graph analysis. The lastly, I will I will say that thank you so much for the all panel for contribute to see my presentation. Thank you so much and Assalamualaikum.